This video contains content that may not be suitable for all viewers. Viewers' discretion is advised. The judge in this case involving Ahmaud Marbury, I do not trust her, mainly because of who selected her. They are not going to select anyone that is going to go against them. The second reason why I do not trust this particular judge is I listen to the way this lady talks. She sounds like an old Southern belle. And black people that go out of their way to sound like white people, you just can't trust them. I myself am from the South. I have a little Texas twang in my voice, but I still sound like a black man from Texas, not like a black man trying to sound like a white man from Texas.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Joyette Holmes, the District Attorney for the Cobb Judicial Circuit. Our office will be handling the prosecution of the case against those who are charged in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. We have been grateful for the confidence that the Attorney General, Chris Carr, has put in our office to handle this case. As we've said before in our previous statements, that we are going to make sure that we find justice in this case. We know that we have a broken family and a broken community down in Brunswick. Now, I do ask, I know that there are a lot of people who have questions about next steps, about the facts, about where we go from here. But we ask that you allow us to try those things in the courtroom.
Yeah, the courtroom, the place where all blacks lose.
For the sanctity of this case and just making sure that we are able to do what we as prosecutors are called to do as ministers of justice.
The ministers of justice, as you call it, their job is to make sure that there is justice for just white folks, but not us black folks. For the fact that she did not hire herself, and that for all of these years she has been towing the line for white supremacy, how the hell you think we can trust you now? And this case is like a scene from Andy Griffith, Mayberry. A bunch of dumb, ignorant rednecks, uneducated, and murderers. The spotlight is on Georgia, and they are unprepared. When I look at these people up in Georgia, up in this Brunswick, hey man, that is why I am against homeschooling. These people think they know, but they don't know, and that is what you call a fool. These people are so dumb. And I don't understand why people would do interviews knowing that your ass is wrong. And when Roddie Bryan Jr. was finally arrested, it was because of that damn interview he did. His attorney did him in. These three stooges, Curly, Moe, and Curly Joe, he too scared to be shimp. They all know each other. They all are connected to people in the courthouse. William Rowdy Bryan Jr., his fiancée, works in the courthouse. The McMichaels worked for the prosecutors. They all know each other. They might lie and try to say they don't, but we all know that they do. And I was thinking, are there any unsolved murders of black people up in that area of Georgia? I think these McMichaels really need to be investigated, and they should look into these cases of unsolved murders of black people up in Georgia. Yeah, I've looked, and I see that there are some during the time of Mr. McMichael's employment. Here's another question. For those prosecutors to recuse themselves and put themselves in line for going to prison, what did the McMichaels have on them to make them do that? What type of favor did these prosecutors owe the McMichaels? If the McMichaels committed this crime in broad open daylight, what else have they done in the past that was covered up? Georgia, especially that particular Georgia, has a rich history of racism and unsolved murders of black people. What about the cases these prosecutors have ruled over? How many of those cases involve black people versus white people? And how many black people receive justice in their courtroom? And I have the same question about this black judge. How many black people receive justice in her courtroom? Bryan's attorney tried to lie and say that the McMichaels and Bryan Jr., they didn't know each other. But I live in a community myself. Houston is much bigger than Georgia. There are people I see every day. I might not know them personally, but I know them. And when Mr. Michael sent these flyers and emails out to neighbors saying, hey man, if you need my help, why wouldn't they know each other? They know each other. They're just trying to lie their way out of it, and they're doing a piss poor job. William Roddie Bryan Jr. made two mistakes. His first mistake was being there at the scene of that murder. His second mistake was hiring that damn attorney, because that attorney is dumb as a bag of rocks.
William Bryan, along with his attorney, Kevin Goff. Gentlemen, thank you for taking the opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
Good
evening.
All right. Mr. Bryan, you are known as Roddie to friends, correct?
That's right.
And in the police report, the McMichaels referred to a Roddie. I'm assuming that was you, yes?
Hey, hold on, Chris. You've been a prosecutor, and you can imagine that this prosecutor that's been in this case 24 hours, she's going to start throwing stuff around her living room if you start doing her job for her, okay? Because as good as you are, she'd probably rather do it herself. Do you know what we could talk about without causing problems for anybody? And I know you're trying, but this man cannot be answering substantive questions about the case. And if you feel that we've misled you in some way, I'm sorry.
No. It's not about misleading. It's about just being clear for the audience. I always believe that the best opportunity the media can give you is the opportunity to tell the truth.
Now, if he didn't want Bryan to answer any questions, why have him do a damn interview?
In a way that helps you. That's all I'm saying. I don't know why you would dispute the notion of the man's presence at the situation, but that's fine. Let me move on. And you, counselor, should weigh in whenever you feel like it. So, Mr. Bryan, how did you come to be in the car videotaping that day?
Okay, we're not going there.
You don't want to talk about that either. All right, so let's do this. You are afraid of the facts of this case, counselor. Why?
Sir, I'm not afraid of anything. And I'm certainly not, with all due respect,
sure.
I'm not afraid of you, but I respect you.
And I respect
you gone dang concrete walking city slicker. You lawyers from the big city think you know everything. I respect you, but you don't know everything.
You are a brilliant, very capable lawyer, and you are you are a very good prosecutor. And my client is a mechanic with a high school education, and if you've ever been to the high schools around here, that's not necessarily saying much.
Translation. My client's as dumb as a bag of rocks. He didn't finish school. He's nothing but a mechanic, so don't be asking him no tricky questions. Darn city slicker.
And just for the record, I do not believe that a level of education is in any way commensurate with common sense or savvy or understanding everything that you need to know about this case just through life experience. I want you to know that. I don't care that he only went to high school. Plenty of people have done that and achieved great things, let alone know why the heck they were in a car videotaping something like this. But let's put it to the side.
Some people are going to have to answer for what they did, but my client is not responsible for that. My client was unarmed. My client hasn't shot anybody. My client hasn't been in so much as a fist fight since he was in high school. And you can take a look at him. He's 5'6", 5'7". This is not a gentleman who's out there looking for a fight.
I understand.
My client's not looking for no trouble. He's a 4'3" pussy wimp. Look at him. He wouldn't hurt a fly. Man, I'm telling you, this is one terrible attorney. I hope, he got him free and didn't have to pay, because if he paid, man, you got fucked. This part of the interview is what I think that done in William Rowdy Bryan Jr., courtesy of his own attorney.
There is no relationship whatsoever between Roddie and the McMichaels. And with all due respect, while I'm not at liberty to go into all the details, but I don't think it's any secret that the relationship between Roddie's fiance, and the district attorney's office here, it's utterly absurd to think that she would ever have any dealings with these people. You just don't understand, Chris. I mean, you've
That's
heard
why I'm
things
talking
about
to you.
how bad it is down here.
Well,
Okay?
This is proof that no small town lawyer is a match for a big city attorney. When it's all said and done, I suspect that the two prosecutors will be reprimanded in some type of way. I'm just hoping and praying that they will receive stiff prison sentences. But who likes living life on a hope and a prayer? Because in spite of what we hope and what we pray, what is the history of rulings concerning cases like these? Black people receive no justice. They have to pick up the pieces and mend their hearts the best way they can. White people get a spank on the wrist, they get relocated, they get GoFundMe money, they get to live on with their lives. Not us. Sometimes you just know when trouble is coming. And I keep saying this is going to be one hellacious year. Next year as well. White people refuse to, some white people, the racist white people, refuse to stop being racist. And they want to hold on to it. Black people for years have been hoping and praying that change would come. But the change, it lies within us. We have to make the change. It's like when you were in school and some big bully was picking on you, and you go get your brother or some other person to deal with this damn bully. But the person you got, that's the one that's getting the respect, not you. You won't get any respect until you deal with that bully yourself. So it is us, the black people, that has to deal with the bully, these racist white people. We have to stop them in their tracks. These courts, they rule one way for blacks and another way for whites. That is going to change. It will change. It's going to change. It better change. You know, I've heard stories about the abuse that black people receive, and I've seen some of it. And I'd be damned if I let it rest on my doorstep. Racist crackers like this one pictured here, your days of terrorizing blacks, those days are over. You won't understand until you are the one that's being terrorized. And I saw him in his court appearance looking like a little pussy wimp, scared. Hey, you're going to get what you deserve when you get behind those prison walls. And we're going to see if your Aryan brothers are going to protect you when you get down there. Your Aryan brothers better worry about their own asses.
First of all, I am
This
not
is the district
condemning.
attorney's
I'm not
office that
condemning an area. I don't understand why no arrest was made. I don't understand why someone who recused themselves from the case went out of their way to paint a false picture of the victim. But these are not questions for you to answer. Mr. Bryan, what do you want the audience to know about your role, your feelings, and your sense of responsibility for this situation?
Is that a multiple question, Chris?
Mr. Goff, let him answer it. I'm sure he'll do a good job. You can always answer it. You can amend after. Mr. Bryan.
Was that a multiple choice question? Gotta keep my eye on you city slickers. I think this attorney won his case as if he won any by being comical. Cause he is a motherfucking knee slapper. Old Mr. Goff, he must remember. He is talking to a city slicker. And he is just a damn dumb country hick. So your attempts to distract and deflect won't work, especially on a city slicker.
I would just like to say, first of all, I am very sorry to the family.
Oh, you are? You mean to tell me you held that video for over 2 weeks? And you care about the family? That's how you show care? Man, get the fuck out of here.
What I want to know is this. When you say that your client should not be considered as part of the altercation, I'm assuming...
He is not considered part of the altercation, okay. Chris. He is a witness, and that's all. That's all he's ever been.
Yesterday, he was a witness. Today, he's a prisoner in an orange jumpsuit. You gotta be careful who you pick as an attorney. I am just so happy that William Rowdy Bryan Jr. selected this buffoon as an attorney. We know he gonna do some damn time. Now it's time to get Jackie Johnson, because she's the one that allowed this cracker McMichael to run amok in Georgia. There's no telling how many other people this man has killed. What else has Jackie Johnson covered up for the McMichaels? This woman needs to be in prison, because these little small country towns like this always cover up and hide things. And there are a lot of unsolved murders up in Georgia. I'm quite sure that the McMichaels and Jackie Johnson and Barnhill and the rest of you people know about it. But because they're all friends, nothing happens until now. We got 3 down and 2 or more to go. Barnhill and Johnson, they must go. And as well as that black judge, she got to go too. Because white people, they kind of slick. You gotta keep an eye on the white folks, because their ass is real slick. So they know that if a white judge is up there, he'll been pressured to convict these white boys. But if we get us a nigger up there, well, she's gonna do what we say, and we won't get the backlash from the ruling. So that's why they hire these coons in black robes that don't represent us, never represented us, never liked us, never liked living around us, don't even like being black. And we're going to trust that she makes a fair ruling. Hey, after over 50 years in this place, I've lost all trust. Even though I do not have trust in this justice system, I do have faith that black people will one day get tired of this crap and say, hey man, enough is enough. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Now Ben Crump and Lee Merritt are representing the Arbery's. I'm just hoping that, hey man, that y'all would, for once in your life, do the damn right thing. Money is good, yes, because on this earth, you need money. But what we need here is justice. We need the killings to stop. If you can't bring that up, why don't you guys just sit down and let somebody else who's not afraid to bring up those issues to take over that job? Bring up the issues that need to be brought up. Say the things that needs to be said. Stop being politically correct, trying to make sure you place your words right. But when you speak, it all comes out wrong. The comments that these racist white people make concerning this case is just ridiculous. It is ridiculous how they still try to find some way to justify the McMichael's actions. Oh, by law, he could do that. Yes, he could. All I really know is that black people have always tried to be nice, trying to get along, trying to be peaceful. But when you abuse people that are always trying to be nice and are always trying to be peaceful, you do know that one day these people will become violent.